Sahana vavatu Sahana bhunaktu Sahaviryam karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May the Lord protect us. May He nourish us. May we acquire the capacity to study and understand the scriptures. May our study be brilliant, and may we not cavil at each other. Om, peace, peace, peace unto us all. Dear brothers and sisters, loving Sai Ram to all of you. We welcome all of you for this satsang of Sri Sathya Sai Baba Center of Arcadia. We are doing the study circle the first half an hour for people who are joining online in Zoom. I heard we have more people joining on Zoom and in person. So if any of you have any problems, challenges, difficulty experiencing joining or listening, please text our panelists so that they can address those things so that you will have a better experience. So we are doing the study circle on Gita Vahini, and we are starting on page 13. So this time, it looks like both the electronic version and the hard copy are coinciding. In the hard copy also it is 13, and in the soft copy also it is page 13, starting with this war. There is one thing, Easter one time coincided the same day. You know when? It is April 24, 2011. There is two separate Easters. One is the regular Easter, which we celebrate here, and Orthodox Easter, which Russians and those people. Usually it falls apart about almost a month, so it doesn't usually come same time. So for when Swami took the Mahasamadhi, it came on the same day, which is so unique and significant. So like that, this time we are on page 13, both on the hard copy and soft copy. So just for the sake of continuity, we'll summarize. Last week, Swami said the Gita is the Amruta Upadesha. That means it is full of nectar. So that means what will happen when we drink nectar, Amruta? We become immortal. So you attain immortality when you practice the teachings of Gita. That is why the uniqueness about this scripture is the people who are reading, who are listening, everybody will be sanctified. That is the beauty of these scriptures. We have Upanishads, great scriptures, Brahma Sutras, but they were done by the rishis in their contemplation. This one, as the beginning says, Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam. Narayana, Lord Himself, has given the instructions. So it is powerful. It is not like anybody, any sage, saint. That is all good, Upanishad, Brahma Sutra. But here, God Himself has given that. That is why it's so important. And also, people who cannot read all of them, they say it is essence of all the Upanishads. That is the thing. People cannot do that. A lot of people cannot read Upanishads, which are tough texts. So you can just go to the Gita and give the essence of all the Upanishads, particularly some of the Upanishads like Kathopanishad, Ishavasya Upanishad. You can see exactly almost the similar slokas, what Lord Krishna, because He is the source. And also great masters, many people have emphasized that, even Shidi Baba in his previous avatar, and also Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Aurobindo, all the great masters, they emphasize the this power of these words, particularly when you practice, how it redeems our life. And last week we talked about two important slokas, because Swami says first chapter is called Arjuna Vishada Gita. He was crying, despondent, Lord, I cannot fight. And because he was with the delusion, Maya, that he was attached to his kith and kin in his ignorance. So then Lord Krishna didn't say one word. He was going on listening. Then when it comes to second chapter, which is Sankhya Yoga, which is very important chapter, It is like a prelude. It gives the summary of what all the chapters going there. It gives in a capsule what is going to be there. And similarly, chapter 18 is the summary of all the other chapters. So chapter 2 gives the summary ahead of time, and chapter 18, the last chapter, the summary of all these other chapters. So here, the real thing is Arjuna goes on arguing this and that. Then he finally says, Lord, I don't know what is dharma sammudha cheta. I am confused what is dharma, dharma. So Shishyasteham, now I am your disciple. Shadimam, command me, and I will follow your command. Because I am your Shishya now, I am your disciple. And I am completely surrendered to you. Mam prapanna, he says. So really God, when you surrender, he takes over. Otherwise, as long as you can say, I can do, okay, let him do. So we have your doership. So once you realize you have no doership, God is the doer, you are nimitta matram. That is why great mantra is in Gita, nimitta matram bhava sarvya sachin. That is what Krishna says. You just happen to be an instrument of mine to do this work. I already killed all of these people, Bhishma, Drona, everything. He shows in his cosmic form when we use Vishwarupa Darshana. They're already killed. So just I'm giving you credit that you are fighting for dharma. And then here Lord Krishna says beautifully, you know what is dharma and what is adharma, right? So that is where Lord Krishna takes over at sloka 11. He says, Pandita is the one, gatasuna agatasunshya nanusochanti panditaha. Who is the definition of a pandita? Pandita we think is scholars. It's not a scholarship. Even a person who never went to school, like Shri Ram Krishna never went to college, there is Swami Adbhutananda never went to college, so, but they have understanding. So they don't grieve gatasuna agatasuncha. They don't grieve about the people who are gone and people who are living. That means they are always in stage of equanimity or bliss. That is Lord Krishna says. That is where he starts, chapter 2, sloka 11. And then he tells Arjuna, you are useless guys, just you wanted to fight. We have decided everything, pros and cons we talked about. We have because Lord Krishna himself went as an ambassador of peace to the Kauravas. Let us settle up. But those guys don't want to even give a part of the kingdom, not forget about the half kingdom they should give. And instead they try to bind Lord Krishna himself, God, in their foolishness. So he says when they didn't listen to the Lord Krishna's words, he says now the war is inevitable. And these people agreed, Arjuna, Dharmaraj, everybody. Now how can you back off? That means you are wavering. So once you make a decision, what is good and what is bad, you need to stick to that. There he says beautifully, whenever we in life, we all have situations. When there is dharma and adharma, Lord Krishna says, please read the discourse of Swami of 1986, October, and 1999, February. In life, whenever you see good and bad, you see dharma, adharma. When there is adharma, you see there are 5 people who participate in the sin. One who is responsible for that, say some theft. I don't want to talk about more heinous sins, theft. One who is causing that. Second, one who is doing that. And one who is encouraging that. And the fourth one who is giving a scheme how to do it. And fifth one who is just watching it. He's not doing anything. He's watching what is happening. So even if you are a witness of these things, you will take the sin. The 5 people, all of you take. Said, oh, I'm just watching, I'm not doing anything. He says we have to partake of the sin. So whenever there is adharma, your strength, you need to oppose it. Just keep quiet, you partake of the sin. This is what Vidura tells the whole in Mahabharata. Swami quoted that. And that is why whenever there is adharma, 2 great examples. One is Vibhishna, when he saw his brother unnecessarily took away Mother Sita, kidnapped. So he walked away from the scene and joined the enemy party. In worldly sense, looks, he goes and joins Sri Rama. He is the enemy for Ravana, right? So, but he knows what his brother is doing is adharma. When there is adharma, even though your own brother or sister, you need to walk away and then support. So that is one Vibhishna did. And in Mahabharata, Vidura did the same thing. He tells, you see, we didn't listen to the Lord Krishna's word. He told you to have peace. Why you didn't have it? So if you are not going to listen, I'm walking away. He went away on a pilgrimage. Says, I have nothing to do with this Hastinapura. Vidura, who was the main prime minister and who is the one who is suggesting, he just walked away from the scene. He didn't want to even be present. That's why whenever is adharma, you can give the advice, oppose it. If it doesn't happen, you walk away, like Vibhishana did, like Vidura did. Whereas two great people didn't do that. Who are that? Bhishma and Drona. Bhishma was there. He's the greatest hero. Nobody can win him. Nobody can even kill him unless he wants to give away the body. He has Ichcha Mrityu. That means he can give up the body when he wants. But he just was a witness. He was just watching, and Draupadi was being dishonored and all that. Just he was watching. So for that, Swami says, and it is Bharda, he had to pay the punishment. He was there in the bed of arrows for 56 days. Such a great bhakta of Lord, and he was such a great man. And same thing, Drona was such a great hero and teacher. He has to be killed in a bad way. So because those two people, example, even though they are great, they were on the part of adharma. Whereas these two people, Vibhishna and Vidura, they walked away from adharma to dharma. So that is why Lord Krishna is telling, why do you want to go back? We decided what is dharma, adharma, now fight. Go all the way. That is very, very important. So this war was decided after long deliberation. So now we will say how it is important, because you are just an instrument. We should always think God is the doer. We are just an instrument. Then we will implicitly follow his command. So that is what Lord Krishna tells Arjuna. So we'll continue. And in between, after when Krishna reads and stops, we'll give comments. If anybody can make their own comments, because now we are meeting in person or questions. So you are open for that, anybody from Zoom. But main thing, be aware that there are other people listening. You should have mic or something so that people can listen. Okay, please go ahead, Krishna. On page 13, starting this war, and also same thing on the electronic copy.
Sairam, page 13. This war was decided after long deliberation. It is not a hasty resolution taken in a fit of anger. Responsible elders have weighed the pros and cons and come to the conclusion that resort to the arms is inevitable. You and your brothers approved on all this and appreciated the decision. You have been preparing for this battle with enthusiasm. In fact, you have been immersed in it more than others. How wrong is it for you now to turn back? This war has not pounced on you in a trice. You have been collecting the wherewithal since long. Remember how you struggled and starved and lived on roots and fruits of the forest in order to win the Pashupatasta Astra from Lord Shiva. How you went as far as the Loka world of the Lord of Gods, Indra, in order to win celestial arrows for this battle.
We continue one more paragraph.
I thought that the moment of destiny for the annihilation they deserved has come for the wicked Kaurava brood. But now you have started this morning dirge. Why this ominous note? Which Shastra lays down this attitude? Think of your duty as a member of the Kshatriya warrior caste to uphold dharma, to protect justice. Yours is the wealth of courage, adventure, and steadiness. But you are overpowered by this strange detachment, which is pathetically out of place.
Yeah, you can go to the next. So this is all continuation, like a story.
This cowardice brings shame on you and even on your far famed forefathers. Fie on you! You have dragged down the Kshatriya race into disgrace. War is the royal road for your kind. the road which leads to heaven. How can you escape infamy if you withdraw from the field now? You have earned the title Vijaya by the prowess of your arm. Do not tarnish the reputation you have won by a lifetime of effort. Give up this weakening delusion. Sairam. The important part here is that first, Sri Krishna is telling how much we have assessed, analyzed so much before the war, and then the decision was taken. And he was appreciating all the good things, even how much Arjuna himself in the forest did tapas, and one great astras, the Pasupatastra, and many celestial avatars. In fact, it is told that whatever the astras he had, if finally for some reason he made that he will not use those astras. If he has used those astras, whatever he received, I think nobody else could even stand before him there. The major thing here is that for the Lord is actually convincing him that he has to take the bow and fight now. But really speaking, for the Gita to come, this Lord has prepared already. He wanted to give the Gita through Arjuna. That's what I would say. Because if the war to start right away without the Gita, could have done it. Because in that first the Gita, the chapter, he is telling, the Arjuna is telling, he's telling the Sri Krishna to go and take the Ratham, the chariot, to put it in the middle of the place where he can see the armies, both sides. But purposely, Sri Krishna goes and puts the chariot right before Bhishma, Drona, and all those people. Because when he sees them, he will immediately feel, oh, what is it? And then he's going to put the bow down and he will not fight. And then the Gita is going to come. But if he has actually put before this bad guys with Kauravas, it would have been a different issue. Immediately would have taken the bow and fought. But the Lord himself prepared so that the Gita, the whole world can actually get it. That's what I would say. Because more and more when I read this one, in that there was one nice thing we learned.
Yeah, that is why one of the names of Arjuna is Partha. Partha means Prithivi's son of the Prithivi. And we are all the children of the Lord. So everybody is the children of the earth. Swami said that is why even though Partha was an instrument through which the message went, but he used so that we all get benefited. And second thing is, Lord Krishna was really hard on him. He says, Kshudram Hrudaya Daurbalyam. He says, despicable is your weakness of the heart. He really scolds him. This coward is, so he has shed in the tears. Lord will be sympathetic. No, he's embodiment of compassion. He thought, he will say, okay, good boy, you don't worry, cry. He says, you are a useless fellow. You are despicable. Why do you cry? This sign of cowardice. You have two things. One, you already know decision, pros and cons. You thought about it. Your elders thought about it. Your Lord Krishna himself told you. So you made the decision. This is what you have to do. And also you are prepared with all these major weapons. Like you said, nowadays, they are like almost like nuclear weapons. Those days, this Pashpatastra, Brahmastra. See, when you read, they are like that. But the difference is, now you go to a nuclear weapon, you go and hit that place, it will destroy the whole place. But there, at least when you read, they are targeted. You go and attack just that particular person or particular way, that will do that. So those days, they even thought about it, just this target specific astras they had. So you got them ready. So now how could you back off? So and the another thing is two unique things in history. You see two dutas, two peace ambassadors. One was Lord Krishna, who was ambassador for peace, but he knows that the war is going to happen. This is all a divine drama. So he played the drama so that there is destruction of the adharma. So just he made it so that we did our best to have the peace, but these guys don't agree. Same thing in Ramayana, ambassador for peace was who? Hanuman. He goes in such a peace war to Lanka, but he creates a war. He creates such a situation, the war happens. So to show not that they want to create war, they create war not against people, but against adharma. That is why in Ramayana also, those people who are the associates of Ravana, there are a lot of good people in the demons also who are, but because of their association with Ravana, they were all annihilated. So you are associated with bad people, you are gone. Same thing, Kauravas, all these good people, Bhishma, Drona, so many people, Ashwatthama, all these people are completely vanquished because whenever you associate with bad, that is why Swami beautifully says, give money or buy good company. Give money and get rid of the bad company. Run away about bad companies. Bad company is very dangerous. Like Karna, such a great man, because of association with bad people, he was ruined. Whereas with good people, you're like Shabari, she was a tribal woman, but association with good people, she could be liberated with one darshan of Lord Rama. So important is satsang, holy company, because it elevates our thoughts. It's very important. Here, Swami was talking about how you make a decision, stick to it, and just that's why he says your name is Vijaya. So anybody has any comments, questions? Okay, you please take the microphone.
So when we talk about dharma, so I know mind could twist and justify everything.
Right.
So we look at as a bigger benefit when we weigh the thing. And the other thing, as what Krishna said, is Krishna took chariot right there to show all these. So even for us, those attachments, even after we make a decision, go back and forth. Is that the analogy?
Yeah,
Is that
two things what you made a comment is important. One is we all need to discriminate. There are two types of discrimination we talked about: individual discrimination and fundamental discrimination. Individual discrimination, is it good for me? That's the most selfish. With this I will get name, fame, money, wealth, success, or whatever it is, your personal agenda. That is the most selfish. Next, is it good for me and my family? That is also selfish, because, and then it's good for me, my family and friends. That is all selfish. So then the society or the nation, but the real thing is highest is fundamental discrimination. Is for the highest good of all. That is why we chant samasta loka sukhino bhavantu. It is not just good for America or India or something. May all the, not only all this earth is happy, actual literal translation of samasta loka means all the worlds. That means not only this earth, the planets, the galaxies, the whole universe you are extending, because we don't know how many universes are there. They think galaxies and all that. So that is why our people, sages, thought about samasta, look of the good. That is the fundamental discrimination. Whereas here, he is thinking of himself. First adharma, then he thought, oh, my grandfather is Bhishma, and my cousin, my teacher Drona, who loved me so much. So that is moha, that is delusion, that is attachment. So that is why he was deluded. So, and how does Lord play the trick? He made him face that thing. Yeah, you are in the middle of it. How do you handle? That is where our test comes. Otherwise, they say everybody in our puja room, we are all saints. But when you encounter challenges, difficulties in the society with people, what they do, then you know what your spiritual strength is. That is why somebody beautifully said, spirituality is not immunity from difficulties. It is not immunity. You will all have difficulties. You see the Mirabai, Suradas, Tyagraj, and even these great apostles of Jesus and Paul. Everybody, they were really went through a lot of trouble. But spirituality is peace in difficulties. In spite of difficulties, you're always peaceful and blissful. That is the strength you get. You'll still go through like anybody else because of your karma. You can see even Sri Ramakrishna here, throat cancer, Ramana Maharshi had cancer in the back, and all the great teachers. Still, you have to do the prarabdha karma. You need to finish. But the Lord's grace, you face those challenges with a smile and courage, and they're not bothered. That is what spirituality gives, how to face. So, answer to that, yes, one is we need to develop the fundamental discrimination and get rid of that moha, that thing, so that we are detached, so that we think about right way. Otherwise, our eyes are clouded by this thing. That is why Lord Krishna says, everybody doesn't see. Dadami divya chechu. I am giving you special vision. Like people go to, I heard 3D movies, they give you these special glasses to see. Similarly, I'm giving you, then only he can see the cosmic vision. Otherwise, Vishwarupa, nobody else sees that. Similarly, when we go to Lord, surrender to him, then he gives us the right perspective. Like you say, you don't know what is dharma, what is adharma. That is what Krishna, Arjuna tells Krishna in Sankhya Yoga, Sloka 7. Karpanya dosha, that means I really know. Dharma sammudha cheta. I don't know what is dharma, what is adharma. I'm confused. Lord, I don't know. Please help me. Then Lord will give the direction. Like our mind plays tricks. I asked Swami that question. Swami, sometimes I don't know what is right, what is wrong. I don't have time to come to Puttaparthi and ask you, because, and even if I go, it doesn't mean you will talk to me. So what to do? Then Swami gave me an answer. Whenever you don't know what is right and what is wrong, just go to a quiet place, think quietly, calm your mind for 10 minutes, just sincerely pray to me, quietening all your agitation minds. In the silence of the heart, voice of God is heard in the depth of silence. When whatever you get, that is the voice of your conscience. Otherwise, this mind plays the tricks with all your various disturbing thoughts. So you need to quieten the mind, and in the depth of the silence, you hear the voice, and then there is not the play of the ego and mind, but that is the revelation of your conscience and consciousness. That is how we need to practice. This is a constant practice, Abhyas Yoga.
Yes, Saram uncle, it was wonderful as always. I just thought of making one point here that, I also have been guilty of this. Many times we think Arjuna as a person who was not steady in his faith, who kept getting doubt and all that. But I think he's a wonderful example. And there's a quote which says, with great power comes great responsibility. As Brother Krishna said, Arjuna had everything. He could destroy the world 10 times over possibly. But he had this purva tapam of beforehand only checking, and that's a great quality, because nowadays anywhere we see in the leadership, this is possibly one thing that's missing, where with great power they think that they can do whatever they want just because they have power. But Arjuna is a beautiful example for leadership, where with great power he has great responsibility. He thinks a lot before he takes any step. I just wanted to make this one point.
It's a good point for people who don't know. There are two things called Purvatapam, Paschatapam. Swami said Purvatapam means whenever you jump into action, beforehand you think about pros and cons. Like that, that's why Arjuna, Lord, all the 5 Pandavas are good. Dharmaraja is embodiment of Dharma. Bhima is so powerful. Arjuna is so good. Now, then why did he choose Arjuna? Of all the people, he chose Arjuna to give the Gita. Swami said because he has thinking beforehand of the war, what are the consequences? So many people will be killed, so much bloodshed, and so sad. So he thought about this. That's why he was hesitating. Not that he was weakling or he was cowardice, but once you have made decision, you should not go back. But he was thinking pros and cons. That's why any of us we should do. But what the Dharmaraj is so great, he had paschatapam. The war is over, he goes and cries, my God, you should not have a doubt. He does a whole yajna to get rid of his sins, because Lord Krishna was the one who presided the war. So it becomes not a war, but a yajna. So he doesn't realize that. So that is the weakness of Dharmaraja. After crying over spilled milk, they say, so you should not, you make your decision, praying to the Lord, what is pros and cons, then stick to it, and then surrender the results to God. Don't cry about it. Oh, I should not have done this. I should have happened. So make a firm decision, stick with it, and just surrender to the Lord. That is what. So this is a good point. He said one is fundamental discrimination. Good points came discussion. Second is Purvatapam. Think before you jump into any action. rather than crying after the thing is done. So we'll Sai Ram and we'll continue next week.